Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What I'm going to talk about today is going to cause people to think twice about what happens to the unsold food at your grocery store. Now, I've talked about dumpster diving in the past. About what I think and what I feel about what should happen to certain foods and things like that. And yes, I know, I get it. Freezers break down, they got to throw the food out because of procedure and protocol and stuff like that. But the photo that I'm about to show you is of a dumpster outside of a grocery store that's overflowing with packages of meat, chicken breast, frozen pizza. A dumpster diver claimed that they got free $13 ribeyes, but they couldn't take it all. They didn't have the room. Now, it is estimated that over 30% of the food in American grocery stores goes to waste every single year, which amounts to nearly 16 billion pounds of food. In the retail sector, this waste is worth about twice the store's food profit. Close to 35% of the food that is wasted by grocery stores either goes to landfills, releasing the atmospheric warming of methane gas as it degrades, or it's incinerated. The majority of food waste is produce, dairy, eggs, meat, and seafood. A very, very, very small percentage of this food is actually donated to individuals like food banks, food recovery programs, things like that. However, the amount of food that gets donated to feed the hungry populations is very limited because of the resources that is needed to transport the food from stores to the centers. Otherwise, if there were actual more resources that could transport this food, a lot more of this food would be donated. But because there's no resources, or let me put it to you this way, there's no one that's willing to use their gas to bring this food to these centers, to the homeless shelters, to the food banks, and things like that. These grocery stores would just rather throw it away. And I'm not talking about the food that comes from a broken freezer. I'm talking about food that they just throw away. And also keep in mind that it's also a tax write-off too. So, although these retailers mistakenly believe that they can be held liable for getting people sick from donated food, there is a bill, a 1996 Bill Emerson Good Samaritan Food Donation Act, that protects the donors criminally and civilly who, in good faith, donate food to recovery programs and to food banks as well. Some municipalities and governments even offer tax incentives for these donations, but yet they would rather throw it out. Does that make sense? Of course not. This to me is obscene. I've seen it way too often in quantities that are ridiculous. I wish there were laws that were put into place, regulations that are put into place for this type of thing. But it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's about sales and never, ever about ethics or morals. It's always about the bottom line. Now, who here, raise your hand, would literally give up an afternoon and a half a tank of gas to go and retrieve this food before it reaches the dumpster and say, I'll take this food to the food bank, and you would literally sign your name on the dotted line to take it to a food bank, to take it to a homeless shelter, and even take pictures of it being delivered to them, just so this food would not get thrown out? Raise your hand. Okay? If we can get at least one person in every single state to take one grocery store's food that they're about to throw out, all because they don't have the resources for transport. If we can get one person in every single state to do something like this, do you know how many people we could feed every single day? Do you know how many children would not go to bed hungry? You know how many homeless vets we could feed? Keep that in mind. Is there a way that we can get this done? Email me if you know of a way. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Okay? I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.